Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am back with part 2 of the junk journals that I'm putting together for using the Scrapbook collection by Simple Stories, and it's called Simple Vintage Garden District. The papers are absolutely gorgeous. So I've got, now again, you can pick and choose the pieces that you want to get. You don't have to get everything that I did. I just wanted to be able to show you the entire collection. And I myself did not even get the entire collection. I wanted to focus on the papers and some of the extras. There's also a stamp set that's involved or that you could get with this as well. But maybe you don't want to go that far, which is totally okay. You also don't have to be limited to this pattern paper pack. I just fell in love with it. But to show you that you can use cardstock, and maybe you have packs of pattern paper that you have in your stash already, you can apply the same technique. So keep that in mind. As always, I'm going to say this video will more than likely be long because I gab. I love to gab. And I'm going to be, in this video, we're kind of going to focus on our maybe some ephemera. We're going to focus on maybe looking at getting our journaling cards together. We're going to look at just the accent, the embellishments, because we've already sewn our signatures together. Our pages are different. We've added a few of our regular, this is just cream coffee paper, or coffee paper, wow, cream copy paper is what I wanted to say. And then of course I have the regular copy paper in white, and I just spritzed it with some water to let it dry, which will give you that crinky sound. Maybe you don't want a coffee dye or tea dye. You don't have to. You can use, if you've got some spray inks, you can add some of them like I did here, or just plain water, and you'll get that crinky effect. You can see in these, you don't have to keep your pages just folded in half. You can go into these different style of pages. So I did add some extras. I added a bag from my stash. But again, you don't have to when it comes to what you want in your junk journal, or if you just want to call it a journal, that's fine as well. I'm also going to say that my window's open, so we may hear some sounds from outside, which is, you know, fine. It's beautiful. The windows can be open. The sun is out, and it's a wonderful day. So I hope it is for you in your area as well. So these are the two journals that we have together. I did some sewing. Again, don't need to do any sewing, but these are a little bit wider and a little bit out of the norm of the size that I use. So these are approximately 6.5 inches wide, and they are the 8.5 inches tall. So 2 pieces of the craft created our cover. And I decided to go with 2 one-signature journals. So we've cut our pieces. I've got my larger cardstocks here, and then I've also got my pot of the ephemera, the die cuts that I did purchase, some of the cuts that I did from the cardstock, the pattern paper that was in the pack. I kept the little strips because that has some beautiful images on there as well. So I'll be able to dig into this as well to create some of our ephemera. We also have, for some of our ephemera, some of the washi tapes. Now these 3 come in a pack, and then this one actually comes with the kit, the original, the collection kit that comes with the papers and some other things. It comes with the stickers that I have here and the chipboard pieces, so they'll be nice accents. And then I did go one step further just to refresh. I got the beautiful stencil because I'm a sucker for butterflies. You gotta have some butterflies. And the beautiful brads that go with this as well. I think brads are something that's forgotten. They are beautiful, just like embossing folders. The basics, simple basics, can help you to make beautiful cards or accents and everything. So let's just dive in. Let's see where we go. I'm probably going to let this go for a little bit and see exactly how far we do get, and then that'll help me see how many videos this will be. Now I'm just going to grab one more thing, and of course you know all what that is. That's my vintage photo. Gotta have that, absolutely. And I'm going to grab my soft brush. You'll see what I do with that, but I don't think I'm going to be using this as much. I want to keep everything as white as possible, but I do like to have my vintage photo to accent, and I probably said in the previous we wouldn't, but I can't resist. I must have my vintage photo, but I'll try to refrain as best as I can. The other paper that I'm pulling in, and it's just a few sheets, is white cardstock. Now this cardstock is by Michaels. It's their Recollections. It's not the 110 pound. I want to use some thin cardstock here, and this will help me. I'll be cutting this down so that we can journal on these, but again, you can use any of the pieces that you have. Now I'm going to use this is a piece of craft. I may pull some of this in as well, but I want to cut a base. I always like to have a template of some sort when it comes to my pieces. Now, I also have some templates already cut up using some chipboard or cereal box weight, so you can cut those down, and then I just keep them in a pouch and I can refer back to them. This piece here is 3 inches wide, so I'm going to cut this down, and I have my cutter off to the side here. I'm going to cut this one down to 6 inches, so 3 inches wide by 6 inches tall. And I'm going to come in with my scissors, and I'm just going to cut off the corner. I'm going to take that, I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to put that into the corner here, match up the edges, and then I'm going to trim along that edge as well. And now I have my tag form, and by doing that, I'm equal on each of the sides. So I'm going to move these off to the side, because I just want to focus on creating pieces. Now, I do like to grab a pencil and just write template, because then I know that's what it is. And then I can use this. Now, I can also take other shapes as well. So if I look at this one and say, you know what, I'm going to cut this one down to be 4 1/4 by, and I'm really eyeballing it. I know that's already 3 inches. I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch from this piece, and now I'll have this size of a tag as well. I love tags. I could make tags forever when it comes to this. And now we have this one as well. So these are the two templates that I'll be using for some tags. One of the simplest things that you can do is in your paper, pattern paper packs, and this one, it had journaling cards already set up. So I just want to measure these. I had this size and this size, and I know there were others. There were squares as well. I just didn't cut those down, but these are the two sizes that I would like to go with. So this one here measures 3 inches by 4 inches. So I'm going to create some mats, and that's where my white cardstock is going to come in. It's very economical. It's 65 pounds, so it's not going to be too bulky once I put this, but it will be sturdy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it, my white cardstock, just a little bit smaller than this. So again, 3 by 4, that means I'm going to cut my cardstock. If it's 3, I'm going to go down, I want a 1/4 inch border. So I'm going to cut a strip 2 1/2. And then I'm going to cut a strip at 3.5. So when I take this piece and I put that here, I'm going to set that. I still see the beautiful paper so that it's going to give it an accent. Now, what I can do, I can keep this just in the white, or I could go around with my vintage photo. I'm looking to use this for when I get into my die cuts, actually. I'm okay with the brightness of the paper to allow that to just shine through. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue for this. And I'm just going to put a bead of glue down the outside and then a little bit in the center. And for those of you that have seen my videos before, a lot of times I don't like to go with a 90-degree angle. I think this will add a lot of character to this by setting it off. What I like to say off kilter, you know, just a little bit sideways. I don't have 90 degrees because this is the beautiful card that we have going on here. And now we have a journal spot here where they can write. You can also leave it just like this because that's light enough to let the recipient of this journal, or for yourself, to make notes on this as well. Can we liven this up? Absolutely. We've got some beautiful strips that are going on. So why not take a strip and tear off this bottom here, and then come over here and let's tear off this bottom here. We're going to fold it in half. And then we're just going to take this and I'm going to put a little glue, or if you have one of those mini staplers, you could use one of those as well. And I'm just going to put this, I'm going to bring that down, and I'm just going to hold that there. The glue is going to secure it, and you can certainly use one of the brads as well. Now we have also those beautiful washi tapes, so we could look at those as well. Of course, I don't know where I put them right now. Yeah. Oh, here they are. They got away from me there. So you could have fun. Now, since this is such a dark pink, I'm going to go with this one. And what's nice is it's a little bit thinner, and that's okay because that pink will shine through. And what I'm going to do, that is torn a little bit, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put that right there. And I am going to put a little bit of glue down because washi tapes are good, but you know, sometimes they can lose their, I'm going to refer to it as stickiness over time. And I'm going to put that up. And then I'm just going to come out and I'm going to tear this edge. I'm going to come around and I'll put some glue just down on that, just a little bit. It'll help secure it. And I'm just going to bend that over, and it's going to real nicely come over that edge. Again, all about that interest. And just like that, we've created a journaling card with a tag, and it may come into play at a later time. So one piece down. Yay! That's one thing that you can do. You can do the same thing when it comes to our larger size cards. So for these, we can do something just a little bit different. I love these larger size ones because these measure 4 by 6. Wanted to make sure that's what it came up with. So something like this, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut a piece this time though 3 by 5 out of my white cardstock. So I'm going to cut a piece 3 inches wide, and then I'm going to go 5. Do you need a cutter? You do not. Scissors work wonderfully. Or you could just tear it, whatever you want. And again, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to set it down just a little bit. And I'm going to add my glue. And I'm going to adhere that down. Again, I am not worried about this being centered. I just want to get something down. Now, there is a reason why I set this down towards the bottom and not at least put it in the center of the card. So I know it's down further here, and of course I don't want to cover up my butterfly. So here we have these great and these awesome squares. So I'm going to take this square and I'm going to cut it just to make the edges smooth. And what then I'm going to do with this is I'm going to make a tag. So I want to cut out that top corner. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to pinch it because I don't want to cut my finger off, and watch. I hope I don't, because I'm, kind of just turning that on. And I'm going to bring that right here. And what I'm doing is I'm lining these edges of that tag right along the top of the card. That'll get it a little bit straight if you want to. But again, since I'm coming down onto the journaling spot, it's just adding a little bit of texture and interest. Again, I'm using my art glitter glue because it is paper. It is usually what I use when it comes to my card making. Now, you could leave it like that because, wow, what a great contrast that we have coming up on that if you didn't want to cover this spot. And I think I am going to leave it like that. You could put another piece on top of it, but I'm going to add a piece of my washi tape. I'm always probably going to make sure I have a torn edge on my washi tape. And again, just adding a little bit of glue to this just to give it a little bit more secure. And I'm going to push that right up onto the edge. And I'm going to put that down there. So again, I have this little bit of accent that's going on there. Know that none of these are planned. I'm having way too much fun here. I'm just grabbing some of my scraps and just adding them. Some of these we have hello happy, and I want to cut that out. It's a great word. I'm going to use my scissors just to cut along that. I'm going to cut that out. And I'm going to cut that green off there. So now I can take this and just put that right there. It's all about layering. I love layering. I love collaging things together to see what you can get. But just crisscrossing that right across the washi tape as well. We've added that to that. And again, we've got those layers. But let's go back to this. So we have this, and again, it looks great just like that, but I'm gonna dig into what these little strips are great for. So like this one here, I'm gonna tear it because you all know I love to tear paper. And then I'm gonna tear this side ever so close because I don't want to lose too much of that butterfly because she's gorgeous. And this now looks like a piece of washi tape, but it's paper because of the way that it's cut. We can sit here and just cross that just like that. And just by doing that, we've added a little bit of interest to this. Or instead of covering that up because that bee's adorable, why not just put this down here so that it crosses over? So it makes it look like it's a piece of washi tape holding down the corner of the journaling card. That paper's going to get in my way. And there you go. Now we have another journal card. And again, there's a reason why we have a tab that when it comes off of the card. So very simple. And again, only using papers we've given our recipient or yourself a place to write, because that's what I'm about. I like to have many areas that are available to write and different textures to write on, so you can use different mediums if you choose. So now we have 2 pieces of ephemera and we're only 20 minutes in. I'm just saying. Fun. So let's continue on and continue to have fun here. Let's see what we have. We have all kinds of so many different things going on. Now, the wonderful thing that we can do as well when I look at these pieces, now these small pieces, I keep them, you know, because I can make tabs out of these and everything else. I keep throwing them in my pot. Here, that holds everything. These are small enough to go in here, and this way I won't lose anything. Oh, that's a beautiful piece, and it'll be a nice thicker piece of washi tape. Oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. Oh. So if I look, or we can always look at, I'm just going to move some things off to the side. So we have our extra cardstock that, you know, I did purchase. So we have more cards here if we want, but this, because I have that color there, I am just in love with that, and I just dropped something. So let me real quick flip through these. I'm loving this right here. Oh my goodness, I am so loving that. Oh, and I'm loving this as well. And again, I could take that template, and if I put this right along that edge and right up to that edge right there, what a beautiful tag that will make. So let's see what that would look like. So again, I'm letting the paper dictate where I'm going to go. So I'm going to come in with my pencil just on the 2 sides that you can't see because I'm off camera. So I'm lining it up to this strip here that I use for washies. And then I'm coming down here and I'm going to continue to draw this line, and then I'm going to come across. So I know to cut across that. So I'm going to, so I can preserve that top, so I can continue to use it as washi. I'm just going to cut along that top there. And then I'm going to cut down the side. And then I'm going to come down straight. And then I'm going to come across. Move that to the side. And now I can come across this edge right here. Oh, all right. And look, in one swoop, just by tracing your template that you want to use, you already have a tag, okay? It's already created for you, and it's ready to go. You don't have to do much collaging. You can just keep it just like this. Now, this is a little dark, okay? So I would suggest to put a spot that you can journal on, and then again that will help give this stability and make it stronger as well. But what I like to do, again, you can have it straight edges, absolutely, you can do that. Me, I like to live on the wild side, so tear your paper. They don't have to be straight cut, they don't have to have that definitive line or that straight line, but some people do like that, and that's okay. Again, it's the beauty of paper crafting is choice. We have the ability to make choices of what we would like for our pieces to look at. And I'm then going to also tear this edge as well. But I'm looking for a second one. I want to definitely have that second piece. So I'm going to go back into my scrap white here, and I'm going to go across 3 inches. And I know if I put this here, I'm going to tear right here. And I'm just going to try, my thumb is actually guiding to make sure that it's as straight as possible, but I don't want it too straight. And then I'm going to come up here and just tear this portion off. So I know these are my tops and my bottoms. And now I'm going to say, all right, where am I going with this? So I just lay that there, and then I'm going to tear there, turn it, and tear a little bit there. So now I know I'm going to go straight down. Put that there, and now I'm going to come straight down here. All right, so now I have my 2 pieces. So I'm going to set this one like this, and then I'm going to set this one like this. Again, just giving that difference, that interest on your piece. So I'm going to glue my first one down. You're all amazed I haven't used my vintage photo yet, aren't you? I know I am. Oh, almost put that upside down. It would have been okay if I did. And then I'm going to come in with this one here. This would look just as great if you used a pair of scissors or if you had the straight lines as well. I'm just going to roll that down, and it's already firmer, and you can see you still have that texture. Again, we don't need to do anything here. That is just, it's absolutely lovely. But we can do other things on this side. We can add more washi tape if we want. But I want to go in here because matter of fact, I'm going to pull this out. This is all my cardstock bits, so to speak. And as I'm tearing, I make piles in front of me. So you're going to see me stretching across a lot because I save all of those pieces. You never know when I'm going to go back to those pieces. But I want to be able to see these beautiful die cuts. I mean, look at that one. That one is just, wouldn't that be beautiful? Right there. It actually takes the curve. Didn't even plan that. And that's the beauty of this. So many things just come to light. You didn't plan them. But it takes that curve so beautifully. And if I put that just like there, it actually comes across with that. So this is a definite, I need to put that there. And let's see, maybe one more. Do we want to add a little butterfly? I mean, we could. Oh, but here's a beautiful green one. Oh, here's a yellow one, very tiny, so we can add that one there as well. Have that coming off there. We still have plenty of areas that we can write our messages on. So I'm going to put my glue down. I do like to use liquid adhesive. I think it's a better secure when it comes to the image. And I don't worry about going up to the edge because if they curl up, it just adds a worn and tattered look to the piece. But the liquid adhesive will make sure that the piece just does stay. You can add foam squares if you want dimension. Again, I can't stress enough, there are things, so many things that you can do, and they're your choices. And here's all the area to still journal on. But look, we have this beautiful image, and what I am going to do, believe it or not, I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it just along that edge, just like we do with our cards, just to give that clean edge for that. So now let's look at our topper. And I'm going to dig through this because I want to see, there's just so much. Oh, wouldn't that be pretty? Look, it says Dream Big. In close to the same colors of what it has. Oh, and we've got tickets. You guys know how I love tickets. So we can take that like that. And then we can add our Dream Big. Oh no, I don't want to take away from that. No, no, no. Don't want to do that. Let's see. Oh, so many choices. Now, doesn't that look, that is an awesome topper for that tag. So that's a definite. I still do like, though, the Dream Big down here. I think that would be really, really sharp to have that. And now I just flipped everything over. Oh, and look, there's another one here. Let's see if there's another one of those. That would be great. And if not, guess what we're going to do? We're going to make our own. Yeah, I'm really liking that. Really, really liking that. So if we look at the other side, we have, it's very dark around the edges. So this is definitely going to go into the front. So let's look at a piece like this. It's got a beautiful print on it, and that would just be pretty. So I'm going to turn this around because that's how this is going to sit. And I'm going to take this. Let's see, how do I want that? I think I want it to actually sit down here. And I'll flip that over. I'm going to cut down the side of it. I'm going to cut across the top, hopefully not my finger. And then I will come in with probably just some finer scissors, and I'll just cut along that edge. I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to cut along that edge as well and meet that center and pull that out. So now what we'll be able to do, I'm going to set that down, let that stick up for a little bit, try to center that, turn my piece over, and now I'll put glue on this side. And then I'm just going to match up those pieces and set that down. And this matched beautifully with that butterfly. And there we have it. Now we have another tab that's sitting right off. And again, we're using our paper. So there is a tag. Again, just using what we have either in the kit and just pulling in some plain pieces of paper when it comes to this. Let your paper do the work. It's one of the things that I say a lot when it comes to pattern paper, especially in my, I have a series that's titled Simplicity, the Basics of Card Making. Your paper has so much. Let your paper do the work. And in this case, it can. You can see scissors, glue, maybe a smaller set of scissors, pencil, and the cardstock that comes, and I'm adding in white just to add those areas there. All right, so we can set this one aside. So that is all set. How about a pocket? Let's make some pockets. Yes, we must do that. So when it comes to you know, the pocket. So one of the things that I've done, especially with this, is I have this little tiny tab that's coming off. So if we pull in one of our books, one of the things that I added in here, is this facing the right way? Yes, it is. One of the things that I added was a piece of clear acetate. You know, what can you do with clear acetate? Well, let's have some fun. Yes. So I'm going to measure this piece, and you'll see what we'll do. So this piece, now with the tab, measures 4.5 up. What I want to do, though, when it comes to that piece of acetate, okay, is I want to make sure that this tab comes out a little bit. So I'm going to put this here, even outside of my book, and I'm going to look at that. And I'm going to kind of line it up with my grid here. So I know that I want to cut my pocket a certain way. All right. So I'm going to cut the pocket. I want to match it up to my acetate, actually, and it's sitting right here. So I'm going to cut my acetate 2 3/4 by, and let's look at this. And that's by 6. So I'm going to say by 6.5, because I want it to have room so that I can pull this out. So 6.5. Okay. So let's look at our cardstock and keep our fingers crossed that this will work. Just say. Okay. So let's see. I want to have some really sharp looking cardstocks. I do love the bees. I do want to take notice of what the acetate is near, so that I'm not, like, I wouldn't want to use this cardstock because I have it here. So I just want to be careful with that. Now I'm going to keep this open by me off to the side. Let's see. So I'm going to dig into my cardstocks here. La, 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 la. And you know, the piece that I'm actually going to use, I'm actually going to use this, because I think if I look at this piece here, I think I'm going to get some a great image that's going to go along here. So what I want to do, though, I want to trim it. So I'm going to pull this up, and first I want to cut off I'm going to refer to those as my washi tapes. Set that aside. All right, so I'm going to come in, and I'm going to cut this here. Again, I'm going to save that. I'm going to come in at the bottom, and I'm going to cut that there. Again, I am just eyeballing this. So now I said I want it to come up, where's that piece of paper? 2 3/4. So let's see what 2 3/4 looks like. So if I put this in here, and I set this down, this is the guide that will show me what that looks like. And you know what? I think I want to see that. I'm going to add 1 inch to that. I just came up with another idea. So I'm going to come up. So now I'm cutting this 3. 6 3/4, but I still want to go 6 1/2. So I want to see what 6 1/2 is going to look like. And of course I got to open this up. Of course I do, but that's okay. It moved away so I didn't hit my, okay, loud noise. So let's see here. Now the bad thing is I can't, let's see, that's 6 3/4. So I'm going to come down and even. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that right there. Great card, just like that. And then I just want to even this up because it didn't look even to me, to be very honest. See, I had that edge. So this is my first, and if I take, excuse me, so if I take this and just lay this on, I've got plenty of room where that's going to sit. And I want that just to stick out just a little bit, but I need another one. So you can see I still was able to use this design. All right, even though it was a big ring, it would be beautiful if you just framed it. Just saying, just saying. So let's look at another piece. Going through those card stocks again. And you know what? I think I want this, actually. So the same measurement. I'm going to go up 3 3/4. And then I'm going to come across 6 3/4. Okay. So now I have these pieces. So let's grab our book. I keep dropping things. It's wrong book. Yep. So here's our one book. So I want this to be out. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this here. And then I want to grab my card because what I'm going to do is I'm going to gauge. I want to gauge what this is going to look like if I set that like that. So I'm just going to shift it down a little bit. I'm going to even that out, and now I'm going to set that in here again. And that is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm glad I made the adjustment to add an inch to that. It would have been just way too little. I am going to use my liquid adhesive again. I want to make sure I know the top. So I'm going to put a bead of glue going down here. I'm going to put a bead of glue coming down here. And then I'm going to add a bead of glue on this side. Now remember, this is acetate, so it will slide. So you want to take this easy, so to speak. And I also want to make sure that I'm going to take one of these pieces here. Matter of fact, I'm going to take this. This is just some scrap paper, and I'm going to set that down. And plus, this is also going to give me a solid landing. I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it right up, and I'm just going to come up a little bit. I'm going to set that down. I'm going to let that fall, and I'm going to shift this over so that it's even. And then we will press down. Making sure if you use the acetate, and again, this acetate that I'm using, I came across a pack. These are actually overhead projector films that they weren't using anymore. So I just grabbed them up. I'm like, there's got to be something I can do. So having a clear page, I think, is interesting because they can use a Sharpie if they want and write their message on the one side, and then they can collage on the other side. So again, they have ways of doing what they want to do as well. So I want to make sure, I mean, the glue definitely is there. It's holding because I'm shifting just a little bit. And now I'm going to flip this. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip this page carefully and slowly and set that down. And now I'm going to do that with this one. So the same thing, because I'm going to match that up right there. So again, 3 sides. You could have also done this with just your white cardstock. If you did not, if you feel that you're wasting your pattern paper, totally, you know, your choice. So I'm going to turn this, I'm going to lay that flat, and I'm going to set that down and just line it up. And now I'm going to hold that in place. Just going to go down the sides. You want to be careful when you put your glue down so that you're not too close to the edge, because now I just smeared that right across. So that will be seen on the acetate, but if you keep rubbing it, it'll just roll right off because it is a slick surface, and you can see my little, you know, droplets there. So that is the fun of the acetate and what you can do. And if you just go back and forth if you have glue everywhere, it will just roll up. And I'm going to do that down here because I got carried away as well. So remember what I said, be careful. But this is what you do when you're not. So at least I'm showing you that. So now we have our pocket. So for this, and I'm just going to check it because I want to make sure that it's going to hold. Again, it is liquid adhesive. You can use a small stapler. You can use any stapler, by the way. Okay, it does not have to be a small one. It can be a regular stapler. What do I mean by that? Well, a regular stapler. Here you go. Just a regular handheld stapler. And what I'm going to do, just to make sure, I'm going to come in the center. I'm going to add a piece to this. Just a little tiny piece. Again, I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a washi. Just going to trim that because I see part of the other cardstock that I had on there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to tear this edge. And I'm going to tear that. So that's one. Remember, you got to do it to the other side too. And then I'm going to do this one. And then I'm going to do that. So I have these going on. And I'm just going to spot glue them. So I'm going to add those there. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue on this one. And I'm going to add that right there. I'm going to flip that page right over. And of course you didn't see that. I'm going to flip that over. Now I just need to find a couple more. And again, that's the beauty. We can just find all of these beautiful strips that we've cut from the top. I'm going to match up the sides so that I know I'm close to covering it. Which I can see I am. And if I flip that over, it's just white, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down on that. And I'm going to set that in place. And then the same thing on this one. I'm just going to line it up here so that I know I'm just taking this small edge off. And we're going to lay this down as well. And I'm going to set that one on top of there. So again, papers, we're creating washi tapes. So now when I come in with my stapler, I'm going to come straight down, staple, and then I'm going to come up again, staple, and that just helps secure it just a little bit in case the glue should come loose or anything like that. You have a different texture that's going on. Now, what did we create? We created a pocket. We created a way that this piece here will have something to sit in. And we can just now secure that in there until it feels comfortable. And when we close our book, we have this awesome tab coming out. Okay, so there are just a few of the things, because I see we're getting close to an hour. And again, we just have pocket. Now you can also fit other things in there too. You know, it's not too many, but you can fit one more item in there perfectly. And then you've got that, just that little bit of an area to hold things. You can put a note in there, whatever you would like to do. All right, so again, I gave you just a few ideas, or I showed you just a few ideas of what you can do using your cardstock. When it comes to our junk journal, what I'm referring to our junk journal, just using scrapbook paper, because I know I hoard a lot as well. So these are the items that we made. So we made a large journaling card, added some accents to that, used our paper as some washi tape as an accent, created a tag with one of those squares, added some layers to the front. We created one of our other journal cards and used the paper for a tag to come off, glue, and then added some washi tape to add some interest. And then we made one of our large tags. We let our pattern paper do the work for what we were looking for in the front. We used one of the pieces of ephemera, lined it up on another piece of cardstock so we could create the same image, and then we used some of the die cuts and added more of our white cardstock to create another journal area that our recipient or yourself can write on. So again, these are just a few of the pieces that we created. So I hope I gave you some ideas. I hope you liked these. I hope you like is this progressing, but let me know down below. Would you like to continue with a part 3 to see more ephemera, more pockets, more tucks, more offshoots that come off? I'm sure you will, but just let me know, because then one of the videos will also look at the covers as well. So I do hope you enjoyed this. Again, this is part 2 of the scrapbook, or the pattern paper, to create a junk journal, to use what you already have. The products that I used will be listed down below as they were in the first video. And if you have any questions, but also let me know if you'd like to see more of the ephemera, more of a tux, pockets, and all the different things that we can create using these. Let me know below. I think I know the answer. But just to be sure, below down in the comments, and if you do have a question, I will make sure that I get back to you. I hope everyone is enjoying the day. I hope you're having beautiful weather like we are here. The sun is out. It's not raining, which is rare. But please continue to enjoy your day. I hope you're being creative in whatever it is. Maybe it is this type of a project. Maybe you're making a card, or maybe you're just splattering some paint somewhere. Whatever it is, please enjoy. And by all means, continue to stay safe and healthy, as I know you all are. Everyone, have a great day, but always remember what's most important for me. Always be creative. Till next time, guys. Take care.